BYU going on the road to Arizona State to face off with the Sun Devils. It is an unexpected, really, really important Big 12 matchup here, Mason. BYU obviously dropping a game last week. Um, and Arizona State coming off of a big win as well against Kansas State. So, or excuse me, coming off a big win, BYU coming off the loss. So, obviously, momentum is headed in one direction here. BYU got to go on the road to Arizona State, who's been quite a pleasant surprise. I just want to say there was an Arizona State fan that was commenting on something that I said last week, and maybe I misspoke. Maybe the fan misheard me, but I was thinking about it today when we broke this game down. Going into that game last week, um, Arizona State's strength was running the football and stopping the run. Maybe I misquoted that because somebody had come on and said, "Are you saying Arizona State can't stop the run?" I don't know where that came from, but then I automatically went into defense mode in the comment section. I was like, "The stats are what they are," and I didn't even really pay attention to what he said. But 33rd rushing defense in the country, 27th rushing offense in the country, pretty doggone good. Kenny Dillingham has got a good situation going here at Arizona State. And obviously, I picked against Arizona State last week. I picked Kansas State, and that was obviously in every facet the wrong decision. Arizona State played a really good game and beat a good team. Can they do it again? That's the biggest question here. And don't look now, but Arizona State is right on the front step looking in at the Big 12 championship, Mason. I mean, that's where we're at, right? They are right on the precipice, and they need to win this game. And this game would go a long way in helping them get there. So there is a ton of motivation here, and this is a really, really, really big matchup here. Let's kind of get into it. Um, what I mean, what are your thoughts? We talked about kind of what the strengths of Arizona State are. BYU has been one of those teams. We kind of were just talking about them before we filmed this segment here. They haven't been particularly great at anything. They've been good at everything. And last week, it kind of just it caught up with BYU, not scoring enough points, relying on fourth quarter points to win the game there at the end, not able to convert, and it kind of finally bit BYU in the butt. And Kansas was able to get away with that win while only scoring 17 points. That was unreal. Um, Obviously, BYU going to have to be able to score some more points here. Just ask Kansas State. That's a little easier said than done against this Arizona State defense. And here we are again, Mason, and I think I like Arizona State here. What are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts?
I completely agree. My question is Cam Scatterbo. I mean, he comes back for the Kansas State game. Looked okay, but you could tell he wasn't 100%. He wasn't in there. He wasn't the bell cow running back that we've seen him be for the Sun Devils all season long. Looking at this Arizona State team, and I don't know. This might be the first breakdown we've done of Arizona State. Maybe we did Kansas or Utah. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, looking at their schedule, I mean, you kind of scratch your head at the Cincinnati loss. Texas Tech, I get a little bit that they have an offense at times. That game was early in the season, but outside of that, I mean, they have been playing really good football. And here recently, they're they put up 42 on Oklahoma State, 35 against UCF, 24 against Kansas State, which is probably like 35 against most other teams in the Big 12. That's a really good defense to outscore or to score 24 points on. And then your defense actually showed up and played pretty good, holding them to 14. So, but I say all that to say, even without Cam Scatterbo, they were still putting up points, right? As good as he is as a running back, it seems like this Arizona State offense is able to run without him. So even though he may be limited in this football game, I still like Arizona's ability to run the football, or Arizona State's ability to run the football in this one, and and really, I think they're probably going to end up winning this football game. If I'm honest, I'm kind of leaning with you, Mark. when I look at BYU, and I feel like I'm not talking about them enough in this preview, but that's because we've talked about them for the past few weeks now. I think this is our third week in a row of doing a BYU breakdown. What I see from this team is really good, really gritty performance from the quarterback week in and week out. This guy's a winner. Got a lot of grit, a lot of heart. Not super athletic. He can get out and scramble and run the football pretty effectively. He's not going to wow you with his NFL caliber arm or anything like that, but a good, solid college football quarterback. And then you can say the same thing about just about every other position on the field. I mean, I like Chase Roberts. I think he is a guy who might play in the NFL. He's been good for several years now. But I mean, outside of that, there's not really a bona fide stud on either side of the football for BYU. They're really well coached and they play good football from in all three facets of the game. However, BYU has been very reliant as a program on turnovers and on the other quarterback playing poorly. That was true in almost every win that they had this season. If Arizona State and is it Leavitt? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Leavitt. Is it Levitt? Okay. If he's able to play like he has been playing as of late and doesn't turn the ball over a ton, you get Scatterbo involved, get him close to 100 yards, something like that. Whatever. I think they get close to 200 yards on the ground in this game. But if you're able to do that and you're not turning the football over, maybe you win the turnover battle even in this football game. I think that the BYU offense can be stopped. If you're holding Kansas State last week to 14 points, I think you can hold BYU to the mid 20s, maybe 24 points. And then I'm relying on this Arizona State offense to control the football and run the football efficiently. I think they can do that. I think they can get it done here at home and effectively take BYU out of the Big 12 Conference Championship game and insert themselves in that football game going up against presumably Colorado. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to say as far as the total goes, I'm going to go 30-24. Arizona State wins this one.
30-24. 30-24. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I bet against Arizona State last week. I don't know that I'm rushing to bet on the game. Just pure disclosure there. I don't think that I'm rushing to bet on this one. I think maybe I'll just sit back and enjoy it. But with that being said, I think this is going to be just a really close toss-up game here, and I like Arizona State being at home. Not saying it's a huge home field advantage, but there's not a home field advantage for BYU, and I think that does make a difference. I like Arizona State here. I think it's 2 weeks in a row BYU drops a game. I think it was just coincidence that BYU hadn't dropped a game already, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, they've had multiple opportunities to drop games, and the laws of averages work this way. I mean, if you win several games by one score or just by happenstance able to win it at the end, eventually you keep doing that over and over, you're going to lose some of those. And I think this one comes down to a one possession at the end of the game. And I think Arizona State's able to come up with it. But as I said, I'm not rushing to go bet this one in a hurry or anything. Over under set at 48.5. I would consider the under in that. But this is going to be a good game, and a lot in the Big 12 is riding on this one for sure.